Have you ever thought who are your role models? Are they father, mother, teacher? Do we really need the role models? Let's try to find these questions answers from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's famous article, Give Us a Role Model. It's a chapter 2 of Kalam's famous book, Ignited Minds. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 in a Tamil Muslim family in the pilgrimage center of Rameswaram on Pamban Island, Tamil Nadu. His father, Jainal was a boat owner and imam of a local mosque. His mother, Ashiyama, was a housewife. He was the youngest of four brothers and one sister in his family. In his early childhood, he sold newspapers to supplement his family's income. In his school years, Kalam had average grades, but he was described as a bright student and hardworking student, and he had a desire to learn. He spent hours on his studies, especially mathematics. After completing his education in Ramanathapuram, he went on to join St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. He graduated in physics in 1954. He moved to Madras in 1955 to study aerospace engineering in Madras Institute of Technology. He has been popularly known as Missile Man. He actively participated in Pokhran mission. The Wings of Fire, Ignited Minds are his well-known books, which is well appreciated across the world. He was honored with Bharat Ratna and many prestigious awards by the government. He was also elected to the highest position as a President of India. He died on 27 July 2015 while speaking in a program held in Shillong. The chapter 2, Give Us a Role Model, begins with Mahatma Gandhi's quotation. To quote, men often become what they believe themselves to be. If I believe I cannot do something, it makes me incapable of doing it. But when I believe I can, then I acquire the ability to do it, even if I didn't have it in the beginning, unquote Mahatma Gandhi. Kalam's passion to meet young students. Dr. Kalam asked why he would like to meet young students in particular. To get this question's answer, he recalls his student's life. He feels that he was always assessed his worth by the value of his contribution. Further, he comments that unless our students and the young believe that they are worthy of being citizens of a developed India, how will they ever be responsible and enlightened citizens? There is nothing mysterious about the abundance in developed nations. The historic fact is that the people of these nations believed over many generations that they must live a good life in strong in the prosperous nation. The reality became aligned with their aspirations. Dr. Kalam's views on abundance and spirituality. Dr. Kalam opines that abundance and spirituality are inclusive and there is nothing wrong to desire material things. He says he himself cherishes a life with minimum of possessions. Nature does not do anything by half measures as we observe around us. Garden will be filled with flowers in a particular season. If we look up, the universe stretches into infinitude, vast beyond itself. In this way, abundance and spirituality are not exclusive. Dr. Kalam's opinion on materialism. Dr. Kalam opines that it's wrong to feel that it is somehow shameful or non spiritual to desire material things. There's nothing wrong with an attitude of making do with the minimum in leading a life of asceticism. It's our right to dream of a good life, an abundant life, a life full of pleasures and comforts, and work for that golden era. Whatever you do must come from the heart, express your spirit, and thereby you will also spread love and joy around you. Now let's have a discussion about Kalam's meetings with different children at different schools and how he used to address those students and how he used to answer those questions. Kalam's first visit took place in a high school in Tripura, where he addressed about 500 students and teachers. There were a series of questions asked by students. The first question was, from where do we get a role model? To answer this question, Kalam said, the best role model I think of would be your father, your mother, and your school teacher. He mentioned that parents and teachers have a big responsibility, and he personally believed that the full development of child with a value system can come only from these people. Then Kalam speaks of his own role model, that's his father, his mother, and his teacher, Shiva Subramania Iyer. His teacher convinces his father to send him to school, setting aside all his financial constraints. Kalam says that every parent should make an effort to guide children to be good human beings, enlightened and hardworking. The teacher has to play role model in generating creativity in the child. This triangle is indeed the real role model according to Kalam. He further emphasized that education and teacher students relationship have to be seen not in business terms but with the nation's growth in mind. Another girl, in all seriousness, asked a question. Every day, we read in the newspaper or hear our parents talk about Atangwadis. Who are they? Do they belong to our country? To answer this question, Kalam says that he gives a reference of two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, where finally peace triumphs. It seems to him that both good and evil will survive side by side. How to minimize the evil through our spiritual growth is a question that has persisted throughout human history. Kalam's visit at St. Mary's School, Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. On another occasion, Kalam addressed a very large gathering of students at St. Mary's School, Dindigul in Tamil Nadu on their 75th anniversary celebrations. Here, one student asked, I have read your book, Wings of Fire. You always give a message to dream. Tell me, why should we dream? Kalam asked the whole crowd to recite together. He said, dream, dream, dream. Dream transforms into thoughts. Thoughts result in actions. Further, he told, if there are no dreams, there are no revolutionary thoughts. If there are no thoughts, no actions will take place. Hence, parents and teachers should allow the children to dream. Another boy asked, please tell me, who would be the first scientist in the world? As children are a source of unending questions, and Kalam answered this question saying, child is the first scientist. All children enjoyed this way of thinking. Kalam's visit to Tezpur University, Assam. During Kalam's visit to Tezpur University, Assam, for the convocation ceremony, he spoke on indomitable spirit. He was also conferred honorary doctorate degree. There he faced two questions. One was, why cannot water from Brahmaputra, which is in flood much of the time, be diverted to Tamil Nadu or Rajasthan, which are starved of water? To which he answered, India Vision 2020 demands from the young that they start a great mission of connecting rivers cutting across the straits. Another student asked him, sir, big leaders in any field, they don't come and they don't talk to us. Kalam convinced the student, saying that he narrated the same to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister would request the leaders in different fields to interact more with the children of our country for better understanding of their own purpose in life, as well as for helping creating a better future for our children. Kalam's visit to Sri Ramakrishna School, Bokaro, Jharkhand. During Kalam's visit to Ramakrishna School, Bokaro, Jharkhand, Kalam addressed more than 3,000 students and got amazed to see their creativity on display in an exhibition of the paintings, toys, and other items made by them. One student asked him, in Jharkhand, it is green everywhere. We have forests, streams, and hills. Why is it that we had desert in Rajasthan? This question reminded Kalam of a similar one in Assam. Why can't the Brahmaputra's waters can be taken to Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan? To this question, Kalam replied, it has to be one of the greatest missions of India to connect rivers so that water can reach many water-starved states. Visionary action is needed. When you grow up, you will probably be a part of our constructing this nation and giving shape to these thoughts. Later, one child came to Kalam with a serious expression and he asked, sir, will your Agni missile cross the ocean and reach America? Kalam was a little startled by this thought and he remarked, "For us, no country is our enemy to send Agni there, particularly America is our friend. Agni symbolizes our strength. It shows that India has all the capabilities." Dr. Kalam's visit to Cuttack. During Kalam's visit to Cuttack, he participated in the birthday celebrations of the late Justice Hariyar Mahapatra. He went there at the invitation of Justice Rangnath Mishra. His biography in Oriya was released. At the end of his speech, the youngsters they crowded him and asked many questions. The first question was, "Sir, tell us which are your favorite books that you loved and which have shaped your mind." Kalam named four books. The first one is Men the Unknown by Dr. Alex Carroll, a doctor turned philosopher and Nobel laureate. This book highlights how the mind and the body both have to be treated in an element as the two are integrated. The second book is Tiruvallur's Tirukural, which provides an excellent code of life. The third book is Light from Many Lamps by Lillian Watson, which has touched him very deeply. It illuminates how we live and has been an invaluable guide to him for 50 years. The fourth book is The Holy Quran is of course a constant companion to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. While Kalam addressing another gathering of school children in Anand, Gujarat, one smart boy asked a very intelligent question: "Who is our enemy?" The answer was poverty. Another child asked a question: "Tell me, sir, are Pakistani weapons stronger than Indian ones?" The child got this question due to the media. Kalam answered saying that this is a unique characteristic of our country to belittle our capabilities. It may even be genetic. India can design, develop, and produce any type of missile and any type of nuclear weapon. This is a capability only four countries in the world have. You remove all the doubts from your mind. So, dear friends, in this extract, Kalam has selected only 11 questions from among hundreds of questions he was asked during the course of meeting 40,000 high school students so far. The questions reflect the children's innocence, but most of all, they show how strongly they feel the desire to live in a strong and prosperous nation. He also realized he also realized from these sessions how important it is for them to have role models, whether in science, industry, sports, entertainment, or some other field. Now, the question is, can we give our children a role model and how? Speaking on his role models, Kalam recalls Dr. Vikram Sarabhai's vision succeeding over 3 decades through sustained and coordinated achievement. Outworking that any other endeavor was the same desire for to exceed the limits. Kalam says, as we try and excel, role models play a guiding role. The power of Vikram Sarabhai was such that others took up his vision and completed it long after he was no more. For you, it could be someone else whom you admire, a sportsperson, a teacher, a successful entrepreneur. Kalam had the chance to meet a legendary personality, a role model herself, Lata Mangeshkar. Lata Mangeshkar was presiding over a function in remembrance of her father, Master Dinanath Mangeshkar. Lata Mangeshkar is a recipient of Bharat Ratna, and he felt honored that she had asked him to inaugurate the 450-bed Dinanath Hospital and Research Center in Pune. He visited the hospital just before the inauguration. He found that it would be treating nearly 30% of the patients free. He was touched by the fact that despite her wealth and fame, she had not lost the sight of the fact that one needs to do all one can to help relieve the suffering of others. Her songs played over the radio have brought pleasure to countless hearts over the decades. During the India China conflict in 1962, her song, "ए मेरे वतन के लोगों" moved an entire nation. Few people can claim to have influenced the lives of millions in such a delightful way. Kalam further says that role models can help us focus on what is correct for us as individuals, as groups, and of course, as a nation. They can also lead us to great success. A renaissance is imperative for us to once again become a knowledge superpower rather than simply providing cheap labor in the areas of high technology. Let's summarize. Nation's wealth is the young generation of the country. When they grow, who can be the role models? Mother, father, and elementary school teachers are very important role models. When the child grows, the role models will be the national leaders of quality and integrity in every field, including politics, the sciences, the technology, and industry. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can find me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe this channel and comment. Thank you once again.